$1,000 truck.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So,
Sharon bought a car, but she let me know it's her car too, so, but she don't know how to drive it, so she has to, you don't need help.
Jim Bouchard,
Here.
Carolyn Wands.
Present.
Heidi Wilson.
Present.
Ed Butler. Chairman Mike Poor.
Present.
5 present.
5 present. Let the minutes reflected Alderman Iverson is having some health issues. Keep him in your prayers. And Alderman Butler was unable to make it as well. We do have a quorum. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes. These will be from March the 12th.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Item number 3 is to approve the agenda. The agenda will remain the same. The only thing under items of information,
Sorry.
we will be discussing resolution on the grinder repair.
I'm blind. I gotta have cataract surgery.
Carl did submit it, but it unfortunately didn't make it into our agenda tonight to be able to vote on, but we will take a vote at the full council next week. So we will, however, discuss it tonight. So that'll be under item of information 9J. With that, need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item number 4, audience comments.
Did anyone wish to speak this evening?
Chairman, these are representatives from the Tennessee.
When we get to that item, if you guys need to, we will bring you up to answer any questions if we need to, okay?
Ladies from the Tennis Center.
Yeah.
Evidently not.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5, chairman's comments. I have none as well. Item number 6 will be approval of the payrolls. These will be from April the 5th. Need a motion for those, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane.
Yeah, yes.
Bouchard.
Yes.
Wands.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Butler. Iverson. Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. Item number 7 is approval of the vouchers payable. These will be from a special run from April the 8th and the regular payables from April the 9th. Need a motion, a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Bouchard.
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Butler, Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. Item number 8, public transportation. Let's see.
Director White is filling in for dispatcher who is out
Okay.
tonight, so I'll be happy to answer any questions about his report if you
Does
have
have his
them.
report in here, so. Okay, we'll get more of an update, full council meeting maybe, if there's anything. Okay. Moving on to item number 9. 9A is an ordinance amending Danville City Code, Chapter 52, municipal solid waste collection. Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we've discussed this quite a bit over the past couple
Yeah,
of months.
and it took 2 months, but I think it's finally straightened out. As you can see, we, first of all, have changed some verbiage in the penalties of it. It specifies the fines. Those did not change. We just literally are doing away with a lot of unnecessary wording and shortened that first paragraph A. You go down to D and you see a few more verbiage changes. One of them is the underlined and towards the bottom that says, in the event that the owner's property is occupied by someone other than the owner shall be responsible for obtaining continued compliance. That's been a problem with some properties, so we've got that straightened out so that we can enforce that. Then on Exhibit D, you go down to the monthly fee for the weekly household collections. As you see, those have not changed since 2016. And as was discussed with this committee and the full council previously, that dump fees have raised considerably. I think I reported 2 months ago that the price of the trucks had gone up to $200,000 or $350,000, and I just got a quote for one that we need to replace, and it's actually $370,000. So, probably 2 years from now, you'd be looking at $500,000 for a truck. But anyway, after discussion with this committee and some of the other council members, it was decided that we wouldn't raise it just $1.50 this year and then go with a 2%. Seemed to be quite confusing, so we actually put a monetary number there that is still right at a 2% a year raise, but it is an actual monetary amount that everybody can look at and know where their bill will be. This is rated out for the next 5 years. It may very well need to come back in front of the committee and the council within 3 years to be amended, depending on how much more everything goes up. If not, then you'll see what the fees will be for the next 5 years, and they're actually only going up a total of less than $4 over the next 5-year period from where they're at right now. So I feel that that's a fair raise. It's livable for everyone. And it will get us closer to where we need to be to maintain a reserve in solid waste and pay for everything as well. The next big change will be in the minor cleanup collections. We've got a problem with people trying to avoid major collections and spending $300. They would rather put out a $20 collection, which it currently is, and do that 3 or 4 times in 1 week so that they can usurp the major collection fee. So with the approval of this and the passing, 1st of May, it'll go up to $100 per collection after your first free one. And that's in the same calendar year. And if you have a third or more one consecutive in the same calendar year, there'll be $200 per collection. Then your next major change will be in the major cleanup collections. We've all seen these areas where you'll pull up and from one end of the house to the next, and half a city block is covered with garbage 10 feet from the street all the way up to the house. That takes a tremendous amount of time to pick up, often 2 trucks and 5 people. So this will try to make people understand that you're going to be charged extra for it. All major cleanup collections will remain $300, but that's it for anything between 510.3, which is 150 cubic feet, and 712.4, which is 336 cubic feet. Anything that exceeds the 336 cubic feet is going to be charged $300 plus our collection fees. That will include, if we've got 3 people there, the time it takes them to clean it up, which is a minimum of an hour. So you'll be charged for 3 laborers. If it's 2 trucks, then you're going to get charged the actual FEMA rate for 2 trucks, fuel included, and then they will also be charged for the dump fees. So it will help us recoup what is actually being spent on these massive cleanup collections, okay? The only other thing that's changed as you go down, yard waste stickers are remaining $40. We crossed out the 48-gallon containers. We haven't had those for about 3 years now, and do have no desire to purchase them any longer. They're not really big enough to do much of anything, so those are your changes. I don't know what happened to the exhibits, because they should have been in there as well. I guess that is the Exhibit D.
They're above it, Carl.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, that's it. So those are the changes proposed by this resolution.
Thank you, Carl. And Carl and I talked a little bit. I showed him, I'm cleaning my mom's house out, and showed him my 7 foot by 27 foot by 4 foot tall dumpster that I rented, $690. So, you know, we're still under what it would cost, you know, people that have a big amount to set out, what they would pay privately. Alderman O'Kane?
How many cubic yards does a garbage truck hold?
Most of them are, the rear loaders are 20 yards up to 28 yards, depending on which one we're using.
Say 20 yards to what?
20, either 20 yards or 28 yards.
Okay. Okay, and what do we say those big loads were 150?
No, the minor collections are $100.
No, how many cubic feet?
Oh, those are
336.
150.
Okay, so you're a couple trucks, okay. How do you decide the cost? You gotta go out there and look at the load?
Yeah, we will actually, we've
gotta-
got a tape measure. We'll measure it if we have to. and We've taken pictures
They
of
gotta
them.
prepay, right?
They'll prepay for the $300 because we don't go out and look at it before we go pick it up. If we pull up on it and it exceeds the 7 by 12 by 4, it's going to get picked up, but we're going to take pictures of it with measurements so that they know. And then they will be charged the extra.
Okay, and they sign something saying that they agree to pay the extra?
But nobody ever signs anything when they call. They just give us their credit card
They
number.
give you a check, that's signed.
Nobody's ever come in. They just call it in. I don't know the last time somebody's come in and paid for a cleanup collection. They just call it in and use their credit card over the phone.
Use their credit card? Well, that's a payment, okay. Okay.
Are we going to collect from everybody? We all know we won't, but the majority of them are going to pay. And if they don't, we just put a lien on their property.
I just worry about it being left like that, what was it? 5 or 6, left there for 2 weeks until they figured out.
Well, that's because they're not calling it in.
Well, I know. But I think once they're told to call it in, it still took them another 10 days.
No,
Well-
we're only about 4 days out on any collection.
Well, I mean,
We schedule.
Once Matt contacted them, they didn't call right away.
Oh, well, that's not part of solid waste.
I know.
And from the good news is with this, from now on, they'll just pick it up and they'll be charged.
Yep.
So,
Well, and then I know the owner's going to be responsible. I don't have a problem with that. But the person living there, are they still getting notice too?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, long overdue. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9B is an ordinance approving the purchase of real estate at 501 West Madison, 505 North Grant, and 27 North Jefferson Street for community improvement. Need a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Oh, that's easy. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9C is a resolution approving the downtown TIF RIP grant application for 57 North Vermillion Street and amending Fund 122 fiscal year 23-24 budget, downtown TIF district. Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay.
Lou?
I'll do my best to represent both of the TIF applications tonight and just provide what they're for. This application for 57 North Vermillion was submitted by Fred and Ma. This building was priorly known as Laney's Ice Cream.
Oh, yeah.
It's technically a two-unit, two-address building. This improvement, this grant application, I believe, is just for the front half, which is Laney's, prior Laney's. This application is a total request for $23,618. It's a 50% reimbursement on what they would be investing into the roof and HVAC, new roof and new HVAC for the building. They're proposing to, with these improvements, to have 2 new businesses locate into the building. Both are food and restaurant related.
Okay. Questions?
The owners,
Sean Davis.
how does that work legally?
Sean Davis is the listed owner of Fred and Ma LLC.
Well, the paperwork lists Ashton.
That, and the resolution that we've got clearly states that she is a managing employee of Fred and Ma.
Okay,
Yeah.
it may be fine, it just doesn't look right.
That's why we make sure that it's in there so that everyone knows and that people cannot, there's not any question about it.
Correct. We make a very clear separation because you are correct. TIF state statute states that the city of Danville cannot support current employees with TIF funds. That's why we make sure Fred and Ma, a city employee, is not in part of ownership.
So is this going to be redacted? It says this is an installation estimate for Ashton Greer here and after referred to as owner.
No, I guess we'll have to look into that. She did put in her resignation to the city, so potentially after that date.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yeah.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9D is a resolution approving a Western Gateway TIF RIP grant application for 103 East Main Street and amending the Fund 119 fiscal year 23-24 budget, Western Gateway TIF district. Need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Okay.
Is there a
Can we
second?
get a second?
Second.
Okay. So this building is known as the This Is It Furniture.
Which is actually 3 buildings, right?
Which is
Logan?
technically 3 buildings. This application, he's coming forward to request for funding now. In the past year, he has put tens of thousands of dollars already into the structure. Wow. He's coming forward now with another substantial investment of, I've got invoices or proposals for $114,000 for a new roof on the tallest portion of this 3 building structure. His window recently got shot out with something, hit the front window on Main Street. He wants to finish up window work on the north side of the building, do a pretty significant gas leak repair, And then on the inside, paint and do a new ceiling. So he believes that the building will be up to where it'll be nice again after this investment.
Logan, I don't know if anybody else, but the fillable PDF form,
Yeah, it
wow, it just is like,
I think that it didn't look like this on our end. So we'll try to get that, but what it does state is what I just reiterated. We'll make sure that I have no idea what happened there.
I can't explain that
There's a
either.
new.
I've never
Check
seen
the
it before.
fillable, it was fine.
It was fine. Something happened whenever it came out.
we believe you.
Oh yeah, and Sam's is okay on his PDF. So
I can clarify on that a little. If you're trying to open that PDF through your Edge, so it won't show up. But if you use your Adobe Acrobat or anything that supports PDF, it might show up. So we'll fix that. I just tried to make it more easy for the applicant to fill it out. So
I love the PDF fillable forms, though. I mean, they're.
yeah.
Finally moving into the right century.
So again, this is a 50% reimbursement, maxed at $50,000. That's been our cap for these redevelopment incentive programs.
Chairman, these are some of the last nice older buildings on Main Street, and they're huge. So if we can help save them, especially when they've done so much work too, I hope that we will.
Still plenty of money in that fund for future.
Yeah, with this budget amendment proposed in this resolution, we'll be operating 100% budget for the next fiscal year come May 1.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9E is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 23-24 Community Reinvestment 310 budget. Need a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right, this is simply because we've completed a whole lot of demolitions this year, used all the dump fees line item, and we need to put more in there to continue paying what is still being tore down. We've never stopped this fiscal year, so that's good news.
All righty, roll call, please.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yeah. Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9F is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 23-24 Parks 051 and Police 021 budgets and awarding a contract for the Friendly Town Perimeter Fence Replacement, RQF number 741. Need a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right, so this is basically for the replacement of the fence around Friendly Town, and then the budget amendment is for the money that was received from the insurance money from the storm for damages in Friendly Town. Some of that money was damage to buildings and stuff like that. Those buildings have been repaired with other funds, so all of the funds from insurance for Friendly Town damage are all going towards the fence, and then the additional is just coming from a line item transfer internally within 051.
With this improvement, and once we get the tennis center fixed up, then Lincoln Park will be on the right path. We still have some work to do with our courts, but with our basketball courts and stuff. But we'll be on the right path for one of our busiest parks.
This F.
Huh?
You say this F
Yes.
That's correct.
or G?
This is F.
Okay.
Sorry, I confused it. I said with this and the next thing it'll be. Didn't mean to confuse it.
Okay, questions? Roll call, please, on F.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9G is a resolution amending the contract for bid number 726 for the Lincoln Park Tennis Court improvements. Need a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Chairman, would you and the committee be amenable to adding number H to that as well, since they're both for the tennis center?
Oh, I didn't see, yes, I read that earlier and was going to do that. And we'll also do H, if it's not objectionable, awarding the contract for the exterior upgrades to Damel Tennis Center, RFQ number 743.
For those who motioned in second, is that acceptable to you?
It is.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think had we gotten
I don't
any
think
yet?
we got a
No, we
second.
hadn't gotten a first and a
We didn't
second.
get that far.
Second.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry.
And as we know from just other things we've dealt with, the contract prices have escalated on everything, and you have an estimate and you think you have enough for what you're going to do, and all of a sudden everything goes out of the window. So they're back. We have some representatives of the tennis club here. Tennis center. It's not a club, it's open to everyone. So if you have any questions, they'd be more than happy to answer any of those.
I've got a comment, but after the discussion on this, before we vote.
Okay. Questions on this? Comments? Okay.
Okay, and I don't have a problem with the work that's been okayed and everything. We've got a ordinance that says the $20,000 limit on extras, or it's got to be brought to it, and we vote on it before you do it. This is the last time I'm gonna vote for something until we address that situation for the future. It's gone from $20,000 to $45,000. There's a limit on extras.
But we brought it to you before the work has been done.
Well,
Yeah, this, to clarify, Alderman, this work has not been done
Hasn't been
yet.
done.
it has not been done?
No.
They've taken down the fence and stuff, but not no, it has not been done
I
yet.
thought this was
Oh,
for
this is all.
Yeah.
work that's been.
Just for clarification, both of these are basically for sealing up the building watertight, and then, so that's coating over roof, swapping out a few doors, painting the building, but also then fixing in between the north and south buildings, fixing the water runoff there. So none of that was in the original contract at all. So this is prior to that part being done. They've started the original contract. This is in addition.
And the additional work has not been done.
When's the work supposed to be scheduled to start, and how long will it take to do this project?
The project has started, but we haven't done the extra work yet. That's my point. We're bringing it to you before it's done like we're supposed to.
And to answer your question, it's all weather dependent on when it will be done. It shouldn't take, more than 2 months, I wouldn't imagine, to complete all of it.
So original contract was $485, this is $530, so it's a $45,000 increase in additional work, which needs to be done to make the buildings watertight and
Yeah,
to.
and I guess just to further explain, so the bids were $485. There was $500,000 in ARPA funds allocated to the tennis center. We worked with the contractor to reduce some of the court costs in order to add some of this additional work to that contract and use ARPA funds to help pay for as much as possible. So that's why we're coming back with this as a contract amendment. In this case, we have not done the work yet, but I think your point is well taken. Still that we know that's a challenge and issue on projects. This just isn't. This is the one scenario where that's not the case. So.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands.
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9I is a resolution amending the funding source for the improvements of William Street from Bowman Avenue to State Street. Need a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
You want me to just explain this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so more or less, since I've been here, we have been dealing with motor fuel tax accounting issues that stem back to the 90s and extend all the way through prior to me being here. Lack, of completion of reporting and numerous other things. So over the years, we have been working to try to close these items out. Kind of behind the scenes, like, honestly, we don't know 100% how we got here. We just know that it's messed up. And kind of came to a head last year, and IDOT said, okay, this is too out of whack, because we closed enough items, or attempted to close enough projects properly, that we realized there was a big discrepancy. But that's not resolved at this point, and they've said, okay, until this is resolved, you can't spend motor fuel tax money. So we're basically, we're able to move forward with the project because finances have been good. We've been able to roll money over to our local motor fuel tax fund, or the Fund 107 Infrastructure Development Fund. We're going to be able to cover these project costs with that. That is something that, in order to try to we've tried internally to resolve this. We've hired outside accounting firms to try to resolve this. We are now working with IDOT to try to come to terms with how we can resolve things for when we do not have the documentation that's required to resolve them. So I'm hopeful that resolution to this will come by the end of the year, and that we'll be back on that path. I had hoped that it would be done before I don't want to leave this mess for somebody else, and I've tried my hardest not to, but I can't
leave till it's correct.
I don't know when that will be, I guess but yeah, fair enough. So anyway, I think we've got a good path forward, and, we're doing the right things. We're on the straight and narrow now with how we operate, or are, getting narrower and straighter, as every day goes by. But in reality, that's why we have to do this, is that, they're not going to let us spend the money that's in our account, because it's not properly, previous things weren't properly accounted for. And yeah.
One of the projects is from when I was a senior in high school.
Was what?
When I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
Say Danville High School?
A senior in high school. One of the projects that we were trying to close is from when I was a senior in high school.
Or statute of limitation?
There is when it's us, but when it's the state, no.
Is this like, didn't we have to refund them $40,000 last year or something? That are different.
That was Danville. That was Danville
Yeah.
Mass Transit.
So just like I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, because we don't know exactly what documents they have versus what we have, versus there's just a lot of back and forth, on all this. And this is very speculative, but if we have a discrepancy, this is literally our money. This isn't, motor fuel tax money is money collected by the state that is then passed through to the city to spend. So if it is improperly accounted for, and we spent the money, and they may say, well, you don't actually have the documentation to prove that you were allowed to spend that money. They may make us credit that money back into our own account. That is a possibility. There is a possibility. I guess there is a possibility there are worse items than that because of how grant funds were managed through this. But it's just a very difficult thing to track, and that is, to be honest, not my expertise. Anyway, I'm hopeful that it will get resolved, and the next person will not have to deal with this, for very long. So,
And then when this does get fixed and we do get the, was it 300,000 or something? Will we reverse things back into the other accounts?
No, we won't. We won't need to. Effectively, these two accounts do similar things, right? They're both paying for infrastructure stuff, primarily roads. We have a strategy where we like to use motor fuel tax funds for certain projects and our local Fund 107 dollars for certain things because of flexibility in the rules. We have more flexibility in our local funds than we do with motor fuel tax. This is just going to mean that the project strategy changes for a little bit to get things done. So it hasn't meant that we haven't been able to get done what we need to do at this point. To be honest, that's something I'm in the process of trying to assess right now for this year to make sure that there's not a hit in our strategy, but I don't know the answer to that yet, so.
You'll let us know in a while.
The next person might let you know. Yeah. I'm sure that, I hope that,
I mean, there's a lot of projects on the.
Oh, yeah, yes. No, for sure. I don't, because we're regrouping on that, I'm optimistic that there won't be significant hits. I know that it won't. If it is, it's going to be stuff, we're going to make sure it's not things that are like grant funded and things like that. Those are going to, hit priority. So we've known this is kind of in the works, and this just hasn't been resolved as quickly as what we had hoped. So that's really
Sam,
all
do you mind if I provide
Yes.
additional clarification?
Please do.
Okay. So, Sam, I think you said accounting issue, which I think makes everyone feel stressed hearing that. But just to further clarify what the issue is that, so, over the years, the city is performing transactions, whether that's revenue coming in, payments going out to vendors to complete projects, right? So we have what's called a general ledger activity, or reports we can run of all the transactions that we've completed, whether that's money in or out. So then we have a balance in our MFT fund. So we have, X dollars in the MFT bucket of money. The state tracks what they think we should have as well because they're granting us those grant dollars. That's the accounting issue, is that what we say we have does not match what the state has. We have more in our fund than what the state thinks we should have. That's the issue. And so when he says accounting issue and, things are missing, I just don't want anyone to walk away from this like, there's a whole year with no transactions for MFT. That is not the case. That is not what this issue is. The issue is that probably incorrect or lack of reporting to the state so that they can adjust their computer balance that is in no way tied to a bank account. They're just trying to keep track of what they've given us and what we've spent it on. So probably a lot of closeout reports. Those tend to be an issue. We have found that we already have identified that interest wasn't necessarily reported back to the state. Sam, do you remember what that number is offhand?
It was roughly $750,000.
Right. So that immediately made the state's balance increase by $750,000. So, and that's us reporting revenue to them. So, and then there may have been projects where we said, oh, this is what the expenses are going to be, and it came off the balance, but it ended up being less, but that was never reported back. So that's the accounting issue. So please don't leave and lose sleep tonight.
Yeah,
I wanted to clarify what that issue is.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's more of and motor fuel tax is a very specific accounting process that's completely different than anything else, I think, that is normal in the accounting world. IDOT's job is to make sure that we're spending our allotted funds in accordance with the rules. And that involves them giving us the money and then us reporting back what we spent on it, providing the appropriate documents, and then validating that. That whole validation process is what has not been occurring and properly, on many, many projects since the projects that were started in the late 90s and went through, me getting here. So we've been going through the process to try to reconcile, and it's really, it's not money was illegally spent or anything like that. We may not have the documentation that's required for us to validate that we properly spent the money. We may not have the invoice copy that we need to have that went with that still, because it's been 20 years. We may not be able to get stuff from contractors that are no longer in business. There's just numerous things there, and it varies wildly, job to job. It's all kind of different stuff that's missing. So these are all being reviewed individually by the state. We've done what we can internally to provide the documentation and attempt to close everything out, but there's still significant gaps. So I would say it's safe to say we don't feel like we've seen no evidence that things were done illegally. We've had lots of reasons to say that things were not done closed in accordance with proper procedures. So
Thanks for that clarification, y'all.
Okay. Everybody okay now?
And what William's done.
No, that one we have to pull. All right, roll call please on 9I.
Alderman Pritchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Butler, Iverson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 9J items of information.
Got
Discussing,
one quick one for you.
quick one.
Yeah, or two. With your permission, we'd like to bring a asbestos abatement proposal that was returned to Tracy Craft today. It's for an SCP grant-funded demolition. It came back substantially higher than what we're used to seeing. The lowest proposal was $34,000 on a residential structure to abate the asbestos.
Wow.
In order to keep this program moving, and not waiting several weeks to demolish and abate this structure, with your permission, I'd like to bring that proposal in a resolution to City Council.
Full council,
Full council, yeah,
next week.
hopefully, yeah.
That's just a one structure, or?
One structure.
What's the address?
I cannot recall.
I don't remember seeing
Big,
anything about it.
It just came in this afternoon.
Big house? Or just-
Yeah, and it's just full, it's drywall, it's everything. The drywall is obviously very, very expensive to abate. And it can't just be demoed and wrap, according to Tracy. We tried.
So the sheet or the plaster and lath and stuff, yeah.
Everything has asbestos in it. So, yeah, I believe the high bid was around $55,000 to abate that property.
And how much was this bid? The one you're talking about?
34,000, I think it was AA. Anyway, I'll bring all the information to you. Yeah, it came late this afternoon.
We'll have it in our pack.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Our pack
Oh, yeah.
for next week, so we'll know.
Yeah,
That's no problem. Do you guys have a problem just bringing it?
Problem's the 34,000.
it's crazy.
But I mean, that, again,
It's a lot of money.
Better than 50.
cost of everything is just crazy.
So, and then ironically enough, we had issues with our PDF system on our current TIF application. If you see an annual subscription come by in the future, Mumachu and I are working on digitizing our TIF application process and management. This company that we've selected for this, it's cloud-based software. It's all going to be electronic submission, and they are actually created and based out of Bloomington, Illinois. So it's pretty cool. It specializes in our actual annual TIF reporting. So it will generate reports and budgets for that state report that we submit on an annual basis. So it's going to help us a lot. And to be quite frank with you, I'm tired of seeing the pen and paper applications for TIF. It's a new world. So.
They might be legible now, right?
Yeah, ironically enough.
Okay, no problem here, I don't think, so just look forward to seeing that next week, everything.
Okay.
Okay, Carl.
Okay, I did hand out what was proposed here, this resolution. I turned it in and it somehow or other just didn't get put on. I want to make you aware, after I'm looking at this on the screen, I did make a typographical error in the fifth whereas, because the bill was $175,061.38. As you see, that original purchase order estimate from Vermeer was $126,355, and that blew that clear out of the water. And going back to what you mentioned earlier, Alderman O'Kane, yes, you know, that's 2.5 times what we're supposed to be able to approve before coming back. This thing was returned to us back in November, and we just got the bill on March 27th. So we had no way of knowing what this was going to cost. They did at one time send us an update of the estimate, but it was only for like 10,000 more than the original, which wasn't going to be a huge problem. But when they handed us the bill, this was what we got. So the one thing to keep in mind, this is about an $800,000 machine, and we've had it since 2014. So I guess and it's a completely refurbished machine, other than the engine is the original engine, but it doesn't have that many hours on it. So we would just like to get the PO amended for another $48,706.12 so that we can pay these people.
Is this the set, we have two of these, right?
This is the only one we spend much money. We still
have
have
we-
our old tub grinder, yes. This is the horizontal grinder, the newer of the two. And this is what processes everything. The tub grinder's only used for really big stumps that we can't get through this thing, and every once in a while we'll double grind with it, but not very often anymore.
Definitely needed though.
Yeah, and if you haven't been out to the yard waste site lately, you probably ought to go. It looks a lot better than it has in the past, so.
The road's good enough to get to it?
Right now, yeah, the mile strip, the old muddy mile is not so muddy right now. It's pretty dry. We are actually going to, I put in an order for signage last week with our sign guy. We are actually going to post signs on Bowman Avenue now that announce Danville Yard Waste Site, and then with directional arrows, one from both the north and the south, so. We're hoping that it'll bring us a little more business. He's actually got some double ground mulch out there if anybody wants any mulch. No, it's not colored, but colored mulch fades away to look like it's brown mulch after 5 or 6 years anyway, so. It's double ground, it's really good stuff, so you will be seeing it get used at the Friendly Town this year as well, so it'll be a good advertisement for it, I think. That's all I've got.
Okay.
How much is your mulch?
It's $35. Yep,
And delivery fee's 30 in the city, right?
yes,
Within 5.
and that's for an entire dump truck load, so.
Oh,
It's more mulch than you're gonna want around your normal house, I can tell you that much, so. We can bring you out less, but you might have to help unload the pickup truck. No.
Okay, so with your permission, this will just go to the full council next week. Just wanted to bring it before us for discussion, even though it's,
And I will correct that typographical error.
Okay. All right, moving on to item number 10, closed session. There is no need for closed session. Item number 11, item of information. Buddy? Okay, committee members' comments? Well, having satisfied the agenda, goes for adjournment.
so moved. Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.